Hello, there have been quite a few interesting developments in banker news, so let's take a look. Today I saw on RT, Russia Times, I believe that's what it stands for, that Dutch bankers pledged, or they said, I swear to God to be honest from this point forward. So there's actually an oath that all 90,000 Dutch bankers took. And when I saw that on RT that they swore to God to be honest, I was wondering exactly what the oath said. So I went online and I was able to find the exact oath. And this is what it says, quote unquote, I swear that I will do my utmost to preserve and enhance confidence in the financial services industry. So help me God. Now, if you listen to that, right, they said they swore to do their utmost to preserve and enhance confidence in the financial system. That is a completely different thing than actually what RT reported, which is that they swore to God to be honest. Because you can preserve confidence in the financial industry by lying. so, so you can lie all you want. You can make up like the US government does all the time. You can lie about what the inflation rate is. To say it's something like 1.5% for all of 2013, when it really was closer to 10%. You can lie about jobs creation and say that the U.S. created 113,000 jobs in January when the real data was that there were over 2.87 million jobs lost. And they're saying they created 113,000 jobs. So you can lie all you want, and those numbers will help preserve confidence. So in effect, to me, it's like the Dutch bankers are pledging to lie, to continue. I'm going to continue to lie and cheat and deceive to help preserve confidence in the financial industry. So that pledge means nothing. Now, if they were actually said, I swear to God to be honest, the bankers are afraid to say that. There's 90,000 bankers, because what would happen by default, they'd already be lying to God. Because if they're going to keep fractional reserve banking, if all those Dutch banks and those 90,000 Dutch bankers were not going to go back to a system that employed the same platform as the 1609 Municipal Bank of Amsterdam, which I consider to be the last honest bank in the world, if they're going to continue to maintain the systemically dishonest, fraudulent system of fractional reserve banking, then automatically, by swearing to God to be honest, they'd be breaking that oath. So, although they did say, so help me God, so I hope that God looks at that dishonest, deceitful, lying oath they took and frowns upon it. And what I would like to see God do to those 90,000 Dutch bankers is what he pledged in Ezekiel, which also was used as a quote by Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Okay, so Quentin Tarantino took some liberties as far as what that passage actually says. It says something like, and I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes. So let's only hope that happens to those 90,000 lying Dutch bankers, because they have no desire to be honest whatsoever if they're not going to get rid of fractional reserve banking and the systemic criminality of the entire banking system. Okay, let's move on. So what else happened in news? There are 4 very high-level banking executives that apparently committed suicide. Now, I'm kind of skeptical as to whether they were actually killed by some banker wet team out there, or if they did indeed commit suicide, because the suicides actually were kind of very strange in the fact that, let's see, there was one guy who was like a head IT guy, JP Morgan, who apparently jumped from the very top floor of the JP Morgan headquarters building in London, who had been a JP Morgan employee for 10 years. Now, these are all long-time, very high executives that were making tons and tons of money that apparently all committed suicide within a week. There was another guy who was a top executive at Deutsche Bank. His name was William Brooksmith, and he was actually friends with the CEO of Deutsche Bank, good friends. And he had worked for Deutsche Bank on and off for a period of over 13 years. And he committed suicide as well. And then they said another banker who worked for Russell Investments, but who also worked for a period of time, I believe it was like 7 or 8 years, for the St. Louis branch of the Federal Reserve as well. So obviously a very high level banker, also apparently committed suicide as well. And then finally the last banker, I can't remember if it was this guy, Michael Duker, who was a Russell Investments guy, but there was some guy they said that killed himself with a nail gun by shooting himself in the abdomen and in the head 8 times. So it doesn't make sense. I mean, obviously, whether you think these people are immoral people and made millions of dollars off of the suffering of others, there still are obviously intelligent people. So why would you choose to kill yourself by nail gun? Isn't there a more efficient way with less pain than sticking 4 nails in your brain? Or the other guy, banker that was also a PhD, that jumped 50 feet. That's only from like 5 stories. That doesn't guarantee death. That could be guarantee you horrible pain for hours with like fractured and broken bones. So, you know, wouldn't these people be smarter in the way they kill themselves? You know, obviously, no one's going to know whether or not whether these people were actually suicided or if they actually committed suicide, other than the person themselves and the person that might have actually killed them. So what has been going around in circles is that, in the banking circles, is that there's a lot of rumors, of course unsubstantiated, because as I said, just like these cases, although it seems kind of shady that these guys all killed themselves and off themselves within a week's time, just like with OJ, no one but OJ and Nicole Brown and Nicole Brown's lover will know whether OJ actually murdered them. There's no one else that will know, although the circumstantial evidence was overwhelming that OJ killed them, just like these bankers. Although it's really shady that they actually killed themselves, no one's going to know except that person and the person that may have killed them. So why are people saying that these people might have been offed by higher bankers above them? Well, there's been a lot of rumors that these are the people that were actually, that had turned whistleblowers, so that were going to bring down Deutsche Bank, that were going to bring down JP Morgan, that were going to bring down, because they had evidence of their deliberate intent to commit billions and billions of fraud. So that was the reason that they're off. And if that was the case, so for example, JP Morgan says they're launching their own investigation. Well, no one can trust that investigation because they're just going to pay off police to find that there was no foul play. So what we really need is an independent investigation, because if this is an opportunity to put someone like Jamie Dimon away for conspiracy to murder and the CEO of Deutsche Bank away for conspiracy to murder, then these opportunities need to be taken advantage of right now. There needs to be independent investigation. Someone needs to bankroll that and pay independent police that aren't on the bankrolls of these companies to actually open up a real investigation to find out what happened, because it does seem shady to me. And one of the reasons I was thinking that these banker suicides could have happened is because of the top resignations of 2 bankers at Citigroup and Goldman Sachs. And they're the head of foreign currency trading, Stephen Cho at Goldman Sachs, and Anil Prasad at Citigroup. Now this could have been a warning shot for them to basically not to squeal, not to say what they know, because both those banks are being investigated right now for foreign currency trading fraud. So that would be a sure sign to them, if for them to see if what happened to their fellow colleagues in very high positions, if they want to stay alive, to keep their mouths shut. Now, it'd be very interesting, too, if someone could get a hold of Anil Prasad and Stephen Cho and give them lie detector tests and ask them, for instance, are you nervous about being killed? And see what their answers are. Because I guarantee you that those 2 have been trained by the corporations as far as what to say when they eventually have to testify about, what fraud Citigroup committed, what fraud Goldman Sachs committed in their foreign currency trading platforms. I'm guaranteed 100%. There's not even like a 0.1% doubt that they have been coached up by other people within their firm as far as what they should say and how they should testify. So it doesn't entangle other high-level executives of Goldman Sachs and Citigroup in the fraud that these two banks committed and the crimes that these two banks committed. As far as wanting to do the right thing, if those 90,000 Dutch bankers have any shred of integrity or honesty, we could start with ABN AMRO that basically defrauded all their clients who they said they sold contracts to and stored physical gold for them, because in March of last year, in 2013, they basically sent a letter to all those clients saying they could no longer have any access to the physical gold and that they could only settle those contracts in the currencies that they bought them in the fiat currencies that have intrinsic value zero, not their physical gold. So they can start there by actually delivering physical gold to all those clients they lied to if they want to show any signs of good faith, because you cannot do wrong and defraud people out of billions and billions of dollars and just say, oh, I'm going to pledge to be honest. You have to do something to make up for all your past transgressions. You can't just walk away from that. That's like saying like a murderer should never go to jail because he said, I pledge not to murder anyone anymore. So that's it. There should be no repercussions of all the ills, of all the despicable crimes I committed in the past. That is ridiculous, and that's what these bankers want: forgiveness for all their evil transgressions without actually making any type of effort to right the wrongs they've done in the past. So if you want me to believe you at all, you 90,000 Dutch bankers out there, okay, start by delivering all that physical gold, ABN AMRO, to all those clients you reneged on those contracts with. And that would be a good start, but that will only be a start. And maybe, you can get me from moving past a 0% belief in your words to a 1% belief. But you'll get me moving forward to believing you. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and as always, remain intensely curious. Take care.